Welcome to our posts. Today we will see stories of am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for begging my girlfriend to uphold a sexist tradition just so she can make a good first impression? I have a big family that's incredibly close. We have big family dinners every few months where we all meet at my great-grandfather's estate and eat together. Typically how this works is that the women go cook for the time they're there and the men don't. Which I am fully aware it's sexist as hell. That being said, I am one of the youngest people in family and my protests mean literally nothing. Some of those women choose not to cook, however this is usually met with a level of ostracizing. The women who don't cook are lives and long-term girlfriends. So they kinda already have a good family relationship doctored in. When I have seen new partners not cook, it's gone bad. Like completely ostracized, not speaking, cattiness, rudeness, etc. This dinner will be in 2 weeks and my girlfriend was asked if she would attend. Initially she said yes, which is great. I want for her to meet everyone and for everyone to get used to her being around, but when I explained to her the tradition she was understandably bothered. I told her that I understood where she was coming from, however it was best for everyone if she just played along. I told her this isn't a permanent thing and that I am only asking her to do this so that she can avoid bad treatment from the rest of the family. This is her first impression and I don't think it's best if we cause waves. She told me that it's unacceptable and that if she has to do that she will not be going. I tried to find a compromise with her on this, but she won't budge and she's pissed at me. She told me that if I think it's acceptable to make her do this I'm just as bad as everyone else, while my point is that she needs to make a good first impression. Am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for getting high so my relatives don't try and pawn their children on me? I live in British Columbia and my family often hosts at our home because we live on a lake. However, I seem to always get roped into watching the kids. Which means I don't get to enjoy my life when we have guests. My husband will drink beer with his brother and dad and my mother-in-law and sister-in-law will go on winery visits and I end up at the house responsible for my nieces and nephews. So last weekend I made sure I was high as F when they showed up. My husband and his brother had to watch the kids because I was in no condition. Their mom is pissed at me because she trusts me to make better choices. I told her that my free time is valuable and I wasn't free childcare. My husband had already had a few so his brother had to stay sober, poor baby. My husband thinks I should have tried talking to them again for the 50th time instead of getting effed up. I think they now know better than to not ask me if I even want to watch the kids. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling a pregnant woman to sit on the ground instead of giving her my seat? My nephews both graduated from high school this morning and I wanted to sit up front so I camped out a bit in front of the entrance. I brought my folding camping chair and my headphones to listen to my show. About 40 minutes before the school would let us inside, a pregnant woman got next to me since somebody let her in line, I assume her partner. She asked me within 5 minutes, politely admittedly, if she could have my chair as she was going to have trouble standing the whole time. I said no, sorry I needed more, bad feet and knees, and went back to my things. She asked me again within 2 minutes and the answer was the same. She however got a little mad at me and said that she was going to be struggling the whole time and asked her partner to tell me. He asked me himself, politely, and I again responded that sorry but I needed more and suggested she could wait in their car or just sit in the ground. At this point the husband directly called me an a-hole but left me alone. Am I the a-hole? Next story. Am I the a-hole for posting videos of my niece and nephew misbehaving in response to my sister's complaints that I did not want them at my birthday dinner? My sister Angel claims to use hands-off parenting with my niece Sophia and nephew Parker. In actuality, Angel is entirely permissive and refuses to discipline them. She expects other adults to step in when Sophia and Parker's behavior is getting out of hand. For this reason, I asked Angel to get a babysitter for Sophia and Parker if she wanted to attend my 27th birthday. I love Sophia and Parker as their aunt. And at the same time, I want a peaceful evening to celebrate my birthday instead of dealing with Sophia and Parker's behavior, because I know Angel isn't going to discipline them herself. Angel acted understanding when I made this request and explained my reasons to her in person, but then she went online and made a Facebook post accusing me of hating Sophia and Parker and trying to punish Angel by only inviting our sister Jessica's kid Megan to my birthday dinner. Never mind that Megan is 17 and is practically an adult herself. Several of our relatives and mutual acquaintances called me out and said I was an a-hole and was excluding a 10 and 7-year-old. I responding to Angel's post by sharing 2 videos of Sophia and Parker misbehaving while Angel did nothing. The first video was a recording taken by Megan, where Sophia and Parker were throwing tantrums and yelling at her. Megan was trying to calm Sophia and Parker down while Angel was on her tablet ignoring the situation. The other video was one that Angel took. Sophia and Parker were yelling, throwing toys at each other, and Parker even called his sister a bad word. Angel was laughing as if it were funny and was again doing nothing to discipline Sophia or Parker. I wrote alongside the videos that I love Sophia and Parker as their aunt. But at the same time, I want a peaceful evening to celebrate my birthday. And I don't want to be stuck disciplining Sophia and Parker because clearly Angel won't. Angel ended up not coming to my birthday at all. My parents told me that I was in the wrong for sharing those videos, because everyone's children have acted up and posting those videos didn't accomplish anything besides embarrassing Angel. They also said I could have compromised by having a nobody under 18 rule for my birthday dinner. Megan would not be able to attend, but then Sophia and Parker wouldn't feel excluded. I do not see how that would be fair to myself or Megan. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to make compromises for my birthday dinner? Next story. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my brother's pregnant girlfriend and kicking them both out of my house after she threw away my food? I, 27 male, live alone. My brother, 21 male, and his girlfriend, 19 female, still live with our parents as they can't afford a place of their own. His girlfriend is currently pregnant with him in 4 months. My brother asked to bring his girlfriend for dinner in order to catch up, and I said sure, why not? However, the moment she entered my house, she started complaining about the smell of the steak I was making and said just the smell alone makes her nauseous and she can't eat this. I tried to suggest an alternative, but she was dead set on Chinese food and ended up sending my brother to the nearest mall in order to get her some. I thought that would be the end of it, but after going to the bathroom and coming back, I caught her throwing my unfinished steak into the garbage. I asked her what the hell she was doing and said the smell was so strong she thought she'd end up throwing up on the floor and she needed to get rid of it, and then started spraying a perfume from her purse in my kitchen. I was beyond furious at this point and sent her back to the living room, and after my brother came back from the mall, I kicked both of them out with their Chinese food. My brother tried to convince me to let them back and that I could make something else for the two of us, and his girlfriend was pretty much sobbing at this point, but I was dead set on kicking them both out. However, my parents ended up being mad at me for apparently causing so much distress to my brother's pregnant girlfriend. I told them that she literally threw away our dinner. But they said that I shouldn't have yelled at her or kicked them out as she's still just a teenager who's now getting influenced by her pregnancy hormones, and that my outburst also caused problems in their relationship as she ended up sending my brother to sleep on the couch that night. Even though he literally defended her as well against me, so I have no clue how this is my fault. Am I the a-hole for apparently not having enough tact to deal with a pregnant teenager? Next story. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my father by offering to stop telling my children that I love them? I call my kids boy, 15, and girl, 16. I love The Simpsons, and I always thought it was funny that Homer referred to Bart as boy and Bart called him Homer. With my father, everything was yes sir, no sir. I also constantly tell my kids that I love them and am proud of them. For some reason, the name thing puts a wild hair up my dad's butt. He was over last weekend, and he was vociferous about how I'm hurting his grandchildren by not calling them by their names. I told him that my kids were happy and to leave it alone. He just wouldn't drop it. So I called my kids over to where we were talking and I asked them if they wanted to be called by their names instead of boy and girl. I said in return they would have to call me sir, not daddy or dad. I said I would accept father in emotional conversations, but that I would no longer remind them every day that I loved them and was proud of them. They both did. They were happy with the status quo. They know what my relationship with my father is like. My father got all pissed off and said that's not what he wanted at all. So I asked him how often he told my sisters and I he loved us or was proud of our accomplishments or just as people. He said it was a different time. That his father was worse than him. So I asked him if he thought my kids were happier than myself and my sisters were growing up. I pointed out that my kids are happy. They are reasonably well adjusted. Now he is being pissy and my mom says he is upset that I think he was a bad father. He wasn't. He was just emotionally distant. I hated it. My sisters both had some therapy to help them choose better men. They both fell in love with any guy who gave them attention. My daughter knows her worth and won't settle for anything but the best. My son has no problem hugging me and telling me or his mom about his life. They are teens, I know I don't know everything going on with them. But I'm doing my best to be there and give them the support I never had. My kids know they are loved. I don't just say it. I try my best to show it. My dad thinks I'm being an a-hole for pointing out where he didn't do great as a father when he tried to criticize my parenting. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel or posts.